Fast food fills you up, but it won't fuel you. In fact, sometimes it'll slow you down. Hold up. Wait a second. Yes, this video is about content creating. Stick with me for a section. Content works the same way. And you got to ask yourself, are you feeding your audience or are you just filling them? Now, let me explain why. You know that feeling when you're hungry? I mean, like, yo, you could eat like a goat. You pull up into your favorite fast food restaurant, Mickey D's, Wendy's, whatever. You get your little burgers, fries, shake, whatever. You wolf it all down and you feel satiated. Like, bam, you're good. But literally, I mean, everybody knows this feeling. Literally, 30 minutes, hour later, you hungry as hell. Or you're tired. Or you feeling sluggish. Why? That just gave you like a quick hit, a quick fix, but it really didn't satiate your hunger. And I just thought of a word today talking with my people on the live stream, and I'm calling that word fast content. Because fast content, just like fast food, might feed your audience, but not fulfill them. So let's take a quick pause before we dive into the particulars. Think about the last video you made. Did it look good? Did it sound good? Or did it do good? There's a big difference in the two, right? So understanding the concepts of fast content, again, word I just came up with, we'll find out if it sticks. If I can make this global, I would love to, because I would love to fix some of the content that I'm seeing on the internet. So fast content is as follows. Just like fast food, it's quick, it's satisfying, but it really lacks substance. It might look good on the surface, it might stop the scroll, but it completely fails to deliver any form of meaningful value. The audience might chuckle, but legit, 5 minutes later, they probably don't even remember what the heck happened. And so right now, there is this crazy push to create aesthetic, cinematic content. And I've watched some of these videos, and I'm like, damn, they're talking loud, but they ain't saying nothing. And I don't mean physically talking. That's just a, old school terminology. It means it looks good, camera's dope, color grade is off the hook. But like there was no quality or value in the video. And it's not even a good look at me piece. It's like I can afford to buy an expensive camera or go to film school to learn how to make some. You only got movies. Before we get started on just regular contents, there are movies that sort of are like this, right? Where it looks really good, sound effects, special effects, the whole 9 yards, but there's no storyline. There's no build of character. There's no character development. There's no plot, or there's tons of plot holes. This is a thing. Now, we take this to something like, what's the Office joint? Oh my God, my brain just went crazy. The Apple TV one and the Office joint, it'll come back to me. But that movie shot well. It looks good. The complex story, twist and turns, Severance. And it's got you working goods. I can't believe I forgot Severance. Anyway, so let's talk about prioritizing substance over the aesthetics. Substance means you're providing some form of utility, you're providing some practical advice, you're providing some emotional value, emotional intelligence to your audience. And I want to say, even if you're an entertainment-focused creator, if you're making music, poetry, art, whatever, you want to leave the audience feeling something. When we talked about this in class, the example that I gave is back in about 78, I remember when Gloria Gaynor came out. I lived in the house with mostly females, and all these females done been through some things, right? Dudes wasn't acting right, work wasn't acting right, fighting for their position. Typical, black women of the late 70s. But when Gloria Gaynor came out with that song, with that first line, at first I was afraid, I was petrified about the thought of me living without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong, and I got strong, and then I learned how to get along. Yo, that was an anthem to any females that were struggling with an a-hole partner. And I that's what I'm talking about, impact, meaning to this day, to this very freaking day, that song brings a vibrancy to people. It's a song of people who've escaped trauma, who've escaped domestic violence, who escaped some form of like illness that just went through them, right? That's what I mean by even an entertainment individual thing can still have impact. So our goal here is to avoid content that is just eye candy or seeking attention. And I got on this thought because yesterday my homie Zaylee posted a thread, and I'm not going to search on my phone. I wish I had it in the top of my head, but she was talking about all these creators that are still stuck because they're trying to create cinematic videos. And I got people in my own community who are still stuck because they're trying to make their content look beautiful, trying to make it look perfect. And I'm like, well, you're not making anything right now, so that's semi-useless. Now, another thing to know about fast content is while it's entertaining and it gets views, it's not going to build you a loyal following. It's not going to build your community even better. Never mind the following. It's not going to build your community. There's been time and time again, many anecdotes of creators with large followings into the 20, 30 millions who fail to sell their product or who fail to host a successful event because their audience isn't truly engaged. They're just like in for the quick dopamine hit, if that's the right terminology. Well, it is the right terminology, but focus on creating advocates who feel connected with your every message. I don't know how many people are going to comment on this video, but if you're watching this video a couple of days later, peep down in the comments and see what I'm talking about, because I know what I'm doing and I know the people I'm talking to, and I tend to be hitting people where it feels good to them. Now, if you one of my people and this hits you somewhere good, hey, holler at your mans in the comments. Put that down. Let the other people who ride by this see this, which is why I teach my community. If you see a video and you like it, if it touches your soul in any way, shape, or form, always, always, always leave a comment. Not leaving a comment on a video you like is like walking away from a dining table without tipping your server. It's like that. And that's the way it is. Huh. That was stupid. Anyway, and this word drives me nuts, but I'm going to just keep it gangster for the people because it's easier to understand. But, authenticity is key, right? The modern viewers now are starting to crave that deeper connection because over the last 2 to 3 years, there was a lot of fast content. It's like boom, 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 boom. But people are now really about trying to connect and build a relationship, a parasocial relationship with the creators. People are starting to understand what that creator's going through, keeping up with their families or their weight loss journey or their health or whatever. And that's when you're building like a deeper connection with your people. When you start knowing people in your community and you know their birthdays and what their grandkids is up to, things like that, that's when you're doing a good work, right? Viewers can now absolutely tell when a creator is being real versus chasing some sort of fast trend. And a lot of this is sparked by AI. AI is such a prevalent thing and such a get on the nerves things for folks that even more so people are trying to see the stuff that's really real. Is it really real, y'all? Is it really real? Sorry, I was about to have a musical Tourette's problem. Or just some AI slop that's like slung together. You know what I'm saying? So people are looking for that. This person, I can trust this person. And so while, yes, visual appearance does help, it's not the main thing. You know what I mean? It's not the main poop state, right? It's important. Aesthetics can make the content seem more professional, but that's not the priority. And anybody who's been around my community for more than 5 minutes tell you, stop saying I'm trying to be professional or trying to look professional. Don't look professional, be professional. And professional is showing up, giving people your value, and feeding the folks what they came for. That's professionalism. Like, a whole bunch of people, you've been in their office, degrees up to yin yang, and they are an empty suit. There's a term for it because it's so prevalent, especially when I was in the Valley. Empty suits are a thing, right? You don't want to be an empty suit. So it doesn't matter that my studio look like I work, son. You know what I mean? My studio don't look all cute. I'm not dissing your cute studio, Tom Buck. Your studio is dope, but Tom also puts in work. But like, there are the people who have the space and the time and whatever to make really beautiful studios. My studio looks like I live here. I do something. My 3D printer, it do things. You know what I mean? So, let's keep it at that, right? You can balance that aesthetic with the substance, but don't get so hung up on the aesthetics that you start lacking substance, right? The best success story from my coaching is a creator who I took from around 60,000. He's currently close to 200,000. And yes, he has improved his aesthetic, but he has also improved the substance that he's delivering. You know what I mean? If he gives me permission, I'll shout him out later. Anyway, so there's totally such a thing as a low budget video with actionable financial advice, and it still resonates because people needed that, right? So imagine a person who's going to show you how to save like 30-40% on your income tax, but like they shooting it in the office, in the car, bad lighting, whiteboard, but the info is solid. You don't care that he didn't come in with an FX3 and a dope filter and a mean color grade, because it would have been just useless. It would have been just a waste of time. You'd rather that he keep posting out videos on how you can save that loot, right? So a long-standing theme for me has been purpose and intent. I make videos because I know what my purpose is, and I do everything with intention. But I'm going to elevate that statement even more. Yes, there's intention, but I'm going to call it purpose and impact. You need to know the purpose of your content and the impact you have in your audience. And I always say this, ask yourself, who am I going to help with this information? Who am I going to provide value to, and what does that value look like? So if your goal is to help small business owners save time and focus on practical, actionable advice, like helping a small business owner save time doesn't matter if you shot it in 12K on the Ursa. If you don't know what an Ursa is, good. Get a DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and keep stepping. But it's not going to help you to shoot that video in 12K. It'll be a waste of 12K. It's probably what it'll be. It's not really 12K. But anyway, always think about this from your viewer's perspective. Like, what will they gain from this? I'm always saying, keep that viewer in mind. And a lot of creators nowadays are creating from the self standpoint. And it's because they're trying to make themselves look better as opposed to making the value that they deliver better. Right? So now we're going to dive into some practical advice. But if you're still here, I'm going to have you ask this question. I'm going to speak English today. If you're still here, let me ask you this question. Would you rather have 10,000 views or 1,000 people who actually care about what you say? Let me know in the comment section below. So let's start with the first step. Define your content's purpose. Ask yourself, what problem am I solving? What value am I providing? Period. Then you're going to focus on that viewer's need. I just kind of talked about it, but let's make this a step. Create content that speaks directly to your audience pain. Answer their questions. If they're struggling with some kind of time management, give a practical solution. Show some tools that you're using. Show how it's working for you. Show how they can make marginal gains to get where they got to get. Right? Of course, always be authentic. And one of that things means, you see how I flood my words like 9 times in this situation? Cool, leave them. Stop trying to correct that stuff. Nobody cares. I'm giving you heat right now, whether you choose to accept it or not. Do you really care that your man can't speak? No, because I'm still giving you heat. You understand what I mean. You ever seen the movies where the reluctant hero has a reluctant teacher, but that reluctant teacher doesn't speak the same language, has a thick accent, Mr. Miyagi, whatever? You might not understand exactly what he's saying verbatim, but they still learn, and eventually they Karate Kid, doing that thing. Similar situation. Those of us that have immigrant grandparents or immigrant parents, you know what I'm talking about, right? Some of the stuff my dad used to say, blow your mind. But we just kept going on with it because we knew what he was trying to get at. And then I think most importantly, simplify your production. Don't let that perfectionism hold you back. Start with what you have. iPhone, basic lighting, simple microphone. Like, just create value-packed videos shot in your kitchen will still resonate deeply, son. Like come correct with it. Don't worry about how cute it is. And of course, engage with your community. Respond to those comments. Ask for feedback. Involve your audience. Make them feel like they are part of what you're building. I do this constantly because I thrive on you guys. You guys are like Tinkerbell juice that makes this go. And if you like, the simplest way you could do this is start with a Q&A. Start with some live content. A conversation today, super funny. I want to get better at speaking on camera like you guys. I really am envious of how well you guys can just speak without even thinking about it. My response was, that comes from the reps of constantly speaking. And so one of the suggestions from another teammate or other community mate was, oh, you should do some lives so you just get used to just talking. And it's like, well, I didn't like doing lives because it didn't get the same engagement as my published videos. The return on investment isn't the views. The return on the investment is enhancing the ability to speak off the top of the dome. See, and this is why I'm saying if your purpose is to get more views, yeah, maybe lives ain't the answer. Maybe one of the reasons why I can speak the way I speak is I'm live twice a week, sometimes 6 times a week, every week since 2019. You know what I'm saying? What are we working on? 6 years? I got so many live hours, it's obnoxious. But that's the reason why I can, just pull out my bullet points and spit game, right? And so wrapping this up, let me give you the easiest blueprint, like the minimum viable product. Remember that video a couple of days ago? Naturally, be consistent. Build a habit of creating meaningful content. Build a habit of creating meaningful content, even if it's not perfect. that one's apropos AF, right? For realsy. Like, build a habit of just creating content, even if you just crack the mic, say what you got to say. Tap the bottle, twist the cap, pour it out. Pour out a little. Start small. Focus on creating one piece of content that delivers real value to your audience. As a matter of fact, here's a takeaway. As soon as you finish watching this video and about 6 other ones, anybody who knows what that means, let me know in the comment section below. Pull up your phone, make a short 30-second video with a practical tip that somebody from your audience can take away right now. Right now. Even if you're a singer. If you're a singer, crack the mic and hit us with an aria and just call it practice. Make us feel better. Find a song that will uplift the spirits. No matter, even if you're a crafter, tell me 3 glues that just you can't live without. Open your craft table. Show me something you can't live without. Like, even if you're not a crafter, you should have one of these. Right? I mentioned it in a video recently. Everybody should have some spudgers. You don't know what you need them for, but when they come in handy, they come in handy. You got to pry something open without scratching it, or you need to dig something out in the pointy. I use it for cleaning a lot, get all up in the cracks. You know what I'm saying? Spudger. Everybody should get spudgers, right? That's what I mean. Practical tip. And a lot of people don't know what they are because nobody's ever told them about it. But once they know, right? Scrub daddy. Scrub daddies are crack. I love them joints. Anyway, and then we want to engage. Just like connect with the audience, go out, reach the people. Get out there. Get out in the streets and start talking to folks. Remember, the goal isn't to create fast content that looks good. The goal is to create meaningful content that makes a difference. Build some communities, not just audiences. Now, you know what I say. I have no freaking idea who needed to hear this. But if it was you, let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, press the subscribe button, ring the notification bell. I'm Doc. I make content designed to get Gen X creators to start telling their story and start hiding behind the things that people told us in the past, the fears, because we have knowledge and experience that needs to get out there because it's way too crazy watching kids out here telling each other a bunch of lies that ain't really making a deal. And you have no idea whose life you're going to save by the content you're about to make. So again, if this hit you in any way, shape, or form, holla at your comments. Get in there and say something. Right about now, the algorithm is going to show you another video they think you should watch, and I agree with them.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence to let them